Okay, welcome to our Smart Building Workshop, defining research and innovation priorities. So here in Rome, we have a massive room for very few people, so I hope we have more online and we count on the online person then. Okay, so just let me grab the... Let me switch my slides. All right, so that's the agenda for our workshop today. We'll first shortly introduce the project, and present you the work that we have done in the past 6 months and introduce what we will do next for the first 40 minutes. And then we really need you for our brainstorming session. So at 4, please don't run away and stay with us. We'll have some interesting virtual and in-person brainstorming sessions. So Alexis David from ECTP, our project coordinator, will first shortly introduce the Smart Build for EU project.
Right. Thank you, Karine. Good afternoon, everyone. You might have heard me already presenting the project, but no worries, I will be short, and it's always interesting to hear several times about an interesting project like this one. Smart Build for EU is a European project that started 1 year ago now. And yep, just starting first of all with the context, why we started this project. Well, first of all, those elements, you have heard them many times already, but still, building the construction sector is a key enabler in order to reach the objectives of low carbon economy and the goal for 2050 that have been set by the European Commission. It represents 40% of your energy consumption, 36% of GHG emissions, and 97% of the building stock is energy inefficient. So with those numbers, we know that we need to improve the efficiency and the capacities of the building and construction sector. The needs, we also need to pass from isolated elements, the buildings themselves, to smart grid-ready buildings, connected, they interact with each other, and also, above all, I would say, that answer exactly the needs of the users, that satisfy the need, that adapt to their needs, that might evolve with time, and so on. That concerns comfort, safety, but also economical issues, energy poverty, and so on. Many initiatives and plans, both at national and European levels, are considering those aspects, and such as Europe climate neutrality by 2050, the Green Deal, Renovation Wave, Bauhaus as well, and the EPBD. With the EPBD has actually taken into account the ICT and its role it can have in the needs I was mentioning just before, the role also of the SRI, the Smart Readiness Indicator, how it can answer those different needs and how it can play a role in the interconnection of buildings and making them smarter, and in this sense, to make them more efficient. Most of the technical barriers, let's say the technologies themselves, are already available on the market. And if you have followed former workshops this morning and yesterday afternoon, you have heard most certainly about very interesting technologies, projects. So technologies, techniques are there. However, what may still misses so far is to bring them further to the market and to have a real market uptake of those technologies. So the targets that you see now on the screen are those that are the basis behind the project Smart Build for EU. We want to help connect and manage those various devices and systems. We want to, above all, break silos, make people share, promote what is being done in different projects, initiatives, and ultimately, we want to help participate in removing the last barriers, slowing down the improvement of energy performance of buildings. So with those notions, key concepts in mind, that's how started Smart Build for EU, which, as I said, started 1 year ago. It gathers the partners that you can see on the screen now. So the project is coordinated by ECTP, the European Construction Technology Platform, surrounded by Dole Innovation, R2M, EURAC, and VITO, and other linked parties of the ECTP, covering many other countries across Europe and bringing their own expertise to the topics we are discussing. This figure represents the main objectives and the main activities of the project. First of all, we really want to bring people together. So to identify who is working on smart buildings, smart technologies, bring them together and create what we have called a SPIC, Smart Building Innovation Community. We promote what they are doing. We organize groups together, which leads us to the second activity of the project. That is actually the main focus of our workshop this afternoon. We have organized task forces of people discussing on key issues, R&I issues and barriers, for which we want to propose research and innovation orientations or solutions and so on. But this I leave to my colleagues that are going to introduce what we have done specifically in those task forces. The third activity concerns the support to the SRI, again, the Smart Readiness Indicator, in order to propose other co-benefit indicators in addition to what the SRI contains. Those indicators should help to promote, again, digitalization and to show the added value of smart buildings for the managers, for the users, the occupants, and so on. So we are developing some tools and testing some tools in order to prove that. The fourth activity is, let's say, a summary of what has been done before. We extract all our conclusions, observations, in particular the white papers that are issuing from task forces. And we will propose a roadmap, a research and innovation roadmap with a certain number of recommendations also to policymakers, both at national and European level. Of course, we have a fifth activity, which is quite important. We promote what we're doing in our project, of course, but we want to promote what others are doing in other initiatives, projects, and so on, which is why, for instance, well, we have webinars. We organize frequent webinars, in particular with BuildUp, the European platform BuildUp. We organize workshops, such as this one this afternoon. And we propose some technology brochures and project brochures. You see here on the screen a representation of one brochure which we have issued a bit earlier this year that promotes European projects that are working in the field of smart technologies and buildings. There will be another one very soon, actually within just a few weeks, containing technologies this time that are issuing from those European projects. If you want to be part of those brochures, feel free to contact us. So that was the first activity. The second one about the task force, I said, I leave that to my colleagues that are going to do the presentation right after me. That is the third activity of the project, contribution to the promotion of the SRI. So to address this lack of maybe clarity, at least for some stakeholders in the marketplace about the benefits of smart technology, smart services, we have developed a list of co-benefits in the co-benefit indicators. I think a deliverable will be issued very soon, actually, on our website. And we will deliver as well technology solution packages of technologies that could be installed in one building. We have a typology of buildings in which we are testing those packages. And we provide an assessment of the performance, both in terms of SRI parameters and the co-benefits we have proposed in our project. And ultimately, we will also propose a certain number of trainings and workshops across Europe in order to promote that and to show what we have achieved with our project. That is the last part of the project. Again, this research and innovation roadmap support the European Commission and member states in understanding better what this community we have created needs and wants, in order maybe to influence what will be the next calls, European calls in the framework of Horizon Europe, for instance. And yes, we will extract from, in particular, the white papers issuing from the task forces, 10 or 12, probably 12 key priorities that we will target here in this roadmap and for which we will propose policy recommendations. I stop here. That was a very quick overview of our project. I just want to close my introduction with a few links. First of all, if you want to join our community, well, you are more welcome and the most welcome to join us. Just click on this link here or take a picture of this QR code and you will land on a formula. You can reach us through the email address provided here. And there is already quite a few documents, including the white papers I was referring to, on our website. So please don't hesitate to consult that. Thank you.
Thanks, Alexis. So we'll now focus on the knowledge sharing activities that we have carried out so far in the project. So that's the task forces that we have created. The objective of those task forces are to identify transversal issues and solutions for smart buildings, and then to really foster the sharing of good practices and lessons learned between projects and experts. So to do that, we have set up 4 task forces 6 months ago. The first one is dedicated to interactions with users. Task force 2 is about efficient building operation. The third task force is dealing with interactions with the external environment. And the final task force is a more cross-cutting one in which we have all what's related to business models, data, as well as education. So we thought, well, it's very nice to have task forces to exchange knowledge, but we need to deliver something concrete, going beyond just meeting from time to time. So we decided that each task force will produce a white paper every 6 months. So how does it work? A white paper is drafted by the task force members with the support of the consortium. We then have a consultation process. Everything gets consolidated into a final white paper, which will then feed into the strategic research and innovation agenda that was just mentioned by Alexis. So that's the first topics that we addressed from March to September this year. The first one was end-user acceptance and attractiveness. In Task Force 2, we worked on interoperability. In Task Force 3, on providing flexibility to power grids. And finally, in the fourth Task Force, on financing and business models. So I take this opportunity to thank really warmly our co-chairs who supported this process. And more details on how we proceeded. So first, who can participate to these task forces? Of course, we have our consortium, our expert board as well, but we also count on the volunteers from the Smart Building Innovation community, and that's mostly volunteers from other ongoing European projects. So in total, for our first white papers, 67 persons actively contributed to their elaboration. And how did they do that? By taking part to our brainstorming session that we had monthly from March to June. So basically, we had 4 brainstorming sessions. First one at a kickoff meeting, virtual, of course, and then 3 other brainstorming sessions focusing on the scope and state of the art, the barriers and drivers, and finally on the research and innovation gaps. And between those brainstorming sessions, then we have a work within the consortium to consolidate all the inputs from the task forces members into this white paper document. Then we had an open consultation, or at least a consultation that was sent to our whole Smart Building Innovation community. And based on the feedback from this consultation, we finally consolidated into our final white paper, which we are happy to release today. In terms of tools, because of the pandemic, we had to do everything virtually, which was not expected when we built the project. So we used the tools such as Teams, but also Concept Board to be able to have brainstorming activities and really foster the collaborative work within the task forces members. So here you have a few snapshots of the work that was done by our task forces members during the brainstorming session. And here to maybe put something more concrete to this presentation, I would like to ask if one of our past co-chair, Olivier Jeunesse from Trialogue, could maybe give a testimonial on the work that we have done in this first semester. So I don't know if this is possible from the IT perspective, but yeah, Olivier, if you can if you can try.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep, that would be great.
Can you hear me now?
And if it's not working, I need to ask the IT to help.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It should be working, but I don't know.
So technical interlude. Can you just wait for 2 minutes before we solve this issue? Olivier is here. Yeah,
Yes.
Olivier, you can hear you. Brilliant.
That's good. Perfect. So thank you. Yes. So just sharing my experience on this Smart Build for EU task force. So it was really interesting work from my side because I'm more from the smart grid domain, and with Smart Build for EU, we had the opportunity to put together people from energy domain, people from smart building, and also people from IoT and ICT perspective and together to think about what can be the interactions between several domains from several perspectives. So if we look at the interaction between the building sector and the energy sector, and we have some regulatory issues to tackle, but also business models. And finally, we also covered the technical issues related to interoperability and data exchanges. So that was really fruitful, and I hope that we will be able to bring all these recommendations to go into the right direction in the future project we'll have in Horizon Europe. So I can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Olivier. We could hear you very well. So thanks a lot for this presentation of the work you've done, and thanks again for your contribution.
Thank you.
So let me go back to my slides now. All right. So as I said, we have just released our first white papers. So the white papers we worked on in the past 6 months. So we invite you to take a look on the project website where you can download those white papers. So unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for you, actually, we won't have the time today to go into details of each white paper. So again, I invite you to download them. But just I will nevertheless want to precise a bit what you will be able to find in those white papers. So we will deep dive into the white papers that was delivered by the Task Force 2, for instance, on interoperability. So I guess you get an idea of the structure of those white papers. So each white paper starts with a state of the art, in which we present, so we make a kind of literature review related to this topic. And we also have a big focus on ENGE 2020 projects that are relevant. So here, for instance, all the projects that participated to our task forces meeting, plus other projects that were mentioned that were relevant to the interoperability topic. But in this white paper on interoperability, we also tried to review, for instance, data communication protocols, various kind of standards, and also give an overview of the ontology and semantic landscape. So yeah. So you can find a lot of interesting data in there, I hope. Then the second part of the white paper is focusing on the barriers and drivers related to interoperability. So what are the barriers related to interoperability that prevent the wider rollout of smart buildings and the smartening of the building stock? So all these barriers and drivers that you can see here, they derive from a collective work with all the task forces members. We also try to vote from the most critical ones. Hold on a second, I need to make a short break. So for instance, for the barriers, you can see that the barriers that were deemed as the most critical by the task force members were cybersecurity of open systems, but also vendor lock-in and user acceptance. On the driver side, market push and EU regulation were identified as the strongest drivers. So again. All right, then the final part of the white papers is what we call gaps. So what we mean by gap is actually activities that should be carried out to overcome the barriers and leverage the drivers to unlock the rollout of smart buildings. So I'm very sorry. It's tough to be back to real events, actually. I should move fully virtual, I believe. All right, so here you have the gaps that are related to research and development as well as demonstration. Again, we had this prioritization exercise to see what were the activities that were the really of the utmost importance. So for instance, here, the fact of developing a unified and shared EU ontology and semantics was voted as really important. On the go-to-market gaps, here you will find gaps related to regulation and legal framework, certification and standardization. For instance, on the regulation gaps, or legal framework, the idea of setting up a central registry to give users a unique interface to access their data and information was suggested as an important activity to be carried out. So we will probably investigate this in a bit more details in the next task forces. And finally, we also have activities related to scaling up and industrialization, as well as upskilling and awareness raising. So I'm sorry, again, I won't have the time to go into too much details here, first because we don't have the time, and then because I think I'm losing my voice. So I'm not sure I will be able to continue much longer. So yeah, but again, all those white papers are available for download on our website. Okay, so sorry, I think I'm a bit ahead of schedule, but yeah, I will give the floor to my colleague Clémentine, because otherwise it will be a bit painful for you to continue listening to me. And so Clémentine will introduce the next topics.
Okay, hello. My name is Clémentine Coujard, colleague from Karen from the Well Innovation. So both of us have been animating these task forces for the last 6 months, and we're going to animate the upcoming brainstorming session. So Karen told you about the past topics that we have addressed over the last semester. Now we are launching these new topics. On Task Force 1, the topic that we launched today is focused on the occupant-centric building for enhanced quality of life. On Task Force 2, the topic is optimized building costs. For Task Force 3, we will focus on smart building as an enabler of new energy practices and communities. And for Task Force 4, this time we focus on data governance, security, and privacy. So you can see in the slide also the co-chairs. Some of them are part of the Smart Build for EU project. Some are external to this consortium. In any case, most of them will participate to the online brainstorming session, and some of them are to the physical brainstorming session that will come just afterwards. So what we will launch now is a first of a kind, I would say, because we will try to handle some brainstorming session online on one side and physically in Rome on the other side. We will work in pairs. That's to say, we will have 2 parallel sessions, one on Task Force 1, one Task Force 2, during a first half an hour. Then we will have a small break, and at 4:55, we will launch the second brainstorming session, and we will have Task Force 3 and 4 in parallel. So here is how we propose to manage this half-hour brainstorming session for each task force. First of all, there will be 5 minutes of introduction of the topic by the co-chairs or the Smart Build for EU partners. Then 2 questions will be asked. So we will spend the first quarter discussing the scope of investigation based on the topic that we propose. What is the exact scope we want to investigate, and what are the key questions we would like to answer in the next white paper? And then in the next quarter, we will focus on the state of the art. What are all the European projects, but also the national or private initiatives that you know of, that we should mention in the white paper, and that we should review, at least desk review, as a base and state of the art to build our paper on. Okay, so here are some explanation on how to proceed for our online attendees. Now we are on the Hopin application to follow this session. In a few minutes, we will switch to a Teams meeting. Indeed, we were not able to have some breakout rooms in this Hopin application. So we propose to have some brainstorming session dedicated into the Teams application. My colleague Yasmin will soon give the link to connect to this session. So we will spend half an hour in this Teams session. Then we will close them. Sorry. Then you can go back to your hop-in session, the present session, and we will display the new links for the second parallel brainstorming session of Task Force 3 and 4. So you can just leave open this hop-in application and click on the link you are interested in to join the dedicated session. I hope that was clear. If you have any question, you can anyway ask them on the chat. My colleague Yasmin is connected and can answer to you. So how will we brainstorm? Online, at least. We will use the concept board. My colleague Karin briefly introduced it earlier. So it's a web page that will allow you to put some sticky notes and propose your ideas, your inputs for discussion. So once you will join the team meeting, the co-chairs or the animators, they will provide the link to the website where you will find the concept board. Please make sure when you click on this link, make sure to connect as a guest. That's it. That's the key point to avoid any technical issues when using it. Okay. So regarding the concept board, you will see that at the top of the screen, you have some icons that will help you to create, modify, or move your sticky notes. You have some explanation here. You will have the same explanation directly in the concept board. And there is also a map to help you move within the concept board space and zoom in and out. Please note that this session is really the kickoff of these new 4 topics, but we will have additional meetings in the next month, exactly following the process that my colleague Karin has presented. So today we discussed the scope and the state of the art. We will have a kind of a catch-up meeting on the same matter at the end of October, but then in November we will more focus on the barriers and drivers. And then in January, we will focus on the research and innovation gaps. And this will be formalized into the white paper that in the end will feed the strategic research and innovation agenda that will be produced by the project. So don't hesitate to contact myself or Karin after the meeting if you want to join the next task force meetings, or at least maybe feedback by email or intervene at any time of the process in the next 6 months. Okay, I think I'm through. So we will launch now the parallel sessions. Yasmin, can you confirm that the Teams link are in the chat? Yes? Okay, perfect. So I will then leave the floor and have a physical brainstorming session on my side in Rome, and maybe talk to you later on. Have a nice session. Thank you. Okay, for the participants in the room, regarding the physical brainstorming session, who would you like to join Task Force 1 or Task Force 2? Task Force 1 is about user-centric building for improved quality of life, and Task Force 2 is about optimized building costs. Tell me 1 or 2. 1? 1? Okay, so you will follow my colleague Alain over there and myself. We will just go in the hall, we'll install some paperboard, and we'll work together on finding some ideas and collecting your inputs on this topic. So regarding Task Force 2, any volunteers? Okay, so maybe we can group together. Okay, so follow us outside. I'll meet you there.